evening, everyone. Welcome back. Tonight is the 236th installment of Discordant Dragons. And tonight we have a Gen X crew. So, Unks represented tonight, son. Here we come. All right. Next week we'll be back. 3 of 12 will be back. And tonight, to sit in the co-host chair, we have the one and only Carnal Conservative with us. But let's introduce the featured guest of the evening, Mr. Pete Quinones, back again. Welcome back, sir.
How am I the featured guest? I'm doing good. Thank you for having me back. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. And the other Gen X part of the tag team, Fat Dave and Bleach Demon. Welcome back, fellas. It's been a while.
It has indeed. Greetings, salutations, yada, yada, yada. Oh, wait, this isn't my show.
We have Carnal Conservative, like I said, filling in for 3 of 12. Welcome, Carnal.
Greetings.
Because we only have one Virginian with us tonight, since 3 of 12 isn't here, we're going to name Bleach Demon the party leader. So, Bleach, it's been a while since you've sat in the leader seat, I think, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been a couple months at least, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, we have a lot to talk about tonight. There's a bunch of crap that's happened, and I don't really have any other announcements to make, other than, for those of you who care, I like to have an awesome camping trip in mid-October. I haven't chosen the weekend yet. It'll either be the second or third weekend in October. If you want to come to East Tennessee, about an hour off the Interstate 81, and go, it's Friday afternoon to Sunday morning, stay at a beautiful lakeside campground with me in beautiful woods. There's a rifle range there at the park. We put a lot of rounds down range on Saturday, having an American good time. I bring a whole bushel of burgers and pork chops and all kinds of food. It don't cost you nothing other than just getting there and bringing your own ammo and stuff. I'll provide the other stuff. And, of course, you got to bring your own tent or whatever it is you're going to sleep in. But I rent us the campground, and I would like to know who all's interested in that this year. Reach out to me on email, social media, etc. If you only know how to get a hold of me in YouTube comments, which means you're dumb and don't know how to look in the description to get another way to contact me, at least tell me how to contact you in your dumb comment, and I might. So, all right. With that being said, let's get the show started. What do you say, fellas?
Let's go.
All right. So, tonight, we have a bunch of kind of heavy topics to talk about, except for one, which ain't too heavy. But, so we're going to have to bang through these, and a lot of these are going to have kind of like political talking point overlap because they're all kind of U.S. government Zionist connected, all these things we'll be talking about. So I have made the Dragons have very leading questions to kind of steer the conversation towards what I want each part of the talk to be about. So just keep that in mind as you guys do the topics. And now I just realized I uploaded the wrong dragon slide. I accidentally clicked on the wrong one. I am fixing that right now. All right. It has been fixed. Here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't turn on the OBS first. That's the problem. I didn't turn on the
yeah.
All right. Tonight, the red dragon has War Never Ending. The green dragon has Oh No, How Sad. The black dragon has Black Washing Washington. The white has Jeet Takeover. And the blue dragon has Cold as Ice. Mr. Bleach Demon, as the party leader, you get to decide which dragon we do first, and that matters because whoever chooses the dragon has to answer the question first after I show a video or read from an article, or you can nominate a party member to make the choice. So what'll it be, sir?
Well, considering Pete was so eager to step into these shoes, I'm going to put him in front of the Dragons first. Face your first barrage, sir.
Oh, my God. Let's do Jeet Takeover.
Brave.
All right. Okay. Jeet Takeover. Good choice. We'll get this out of the way here.
Sar, you redeem first dragon, Sar.
Yeah, he sure is. Anyway, CEO under fire for mass layoffs amid foreign worker hiring spree, now appointed to the Federal Reserve Task Force. Microsoft is cutting almost 5,000 jobs after getting approved to hire 2,273 H-1Bs. The CEO of a popular gaming brand Thursday was appointed to a high-level Federal Reserve task force, despite ongoing fury over her company's recent firing of 1,600 workers while being approved to hire thousands via the H-1B program. This is the creature right here. Take it all in. Take a good look. Kind of looks like a horse. Anyway, Asshole Sharma, who heads Microsoft's Xbox division, announced the layoffs earlier this week. Microsoft said that it would lay off 4,800 in total, while it had been approved earlier this year to hire 2,273 foreign H-1B visas, according to data from the U.S. Citizen Immigration Services. And the answer is yes. Almost all of those are Indian, by the way, just of course. At the height of the wrath over the layoffs this week, Federal Reserve moved forward with appointing Sharma to a newly created advisory role with the central bank. Isn't that interesting? Sharma will receive a task force on productivity and jobs alongside Andreessen Horowitz. Yes, he is. Co-founder Mark Anderson and Stanford University economics professor Charles Jones. The Federal Reserve's commitment to price stability and maximum employment is unwavering, as is our resolve to pursue our mandate with rigor, said the new Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh in a statement on the appointments. Each task force will carefully consider whether policymakers' means and methods, analytical tools, and policy approaches can be improved upon. I am honored that the best minds from a range of disciplines have agreed to work with us to sharpen our performance as an institution. Many of the same critics who raged at Sharma, Xbox, and Microsoft over the perceived replacement of American employees with foreign visa workers continued their tirades after the announcement. Check some of these out. It's like asking El Chapo to lead the DEA, one person said on Twitter. Another critic said the Federal Reserve is trying to incentivize mass layoff of American workers in favor of foreign ones with their hiring of the Xbox exec. Another one said the Federal Reserve needs some help firing Americans. A fourth person called the move totally inexplicable. Some have claimed that there is a racial component to the importation of H-1B visa workers, the vast majority of whom come from India. Sharma is, of course, of Indian heritage, but was born in Wisconsin. Quote, reminder that she had zero gaming experience when she was promoted to run Xbox, and she has zero financial or economic experience, but is being promoted to advise the Federal Reserve, said one user on Twitter. Her one function is to purge white people and replace them with cheap Indian foreign labor. All right. The white with us tonight. Oversees his clan's massive corporate interests of mineral extraction and trade, so he's quite familiar with the kind of cretin that CEOs and bureaucratic functionaries usually are. There is often the adage, just build your own, in the dissident sphere. But he chose this story tonight because he finds the notion of just build your own social elite who can shape government and the entire economic apparatus to be a bit unrealistic. So if this continues and white people are thoroughly scrubbed from the leadership of our countries, the question remains, and it's this, and it comes to Pete first. With all institutions being controlled by foreigners and our own traders, is it possible to just build your own, or is it more feasible to try and win back these institutions?
I guess I have to start with the fact that Kevin Warsh, the new head of the Federal Reserve, his father-in-law is the head of the World Jewish Congress, Ronald Lauder.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I never would have guessed that, Pete. That comes as a great shock to me.
You're telling me this for the 1st time.
Say.
This ain't my first rodeo, but please go ahead.
Yeah, but you have to do it. You can only do it locally. And even then, you just have to be careful about what you're doing. When people are out there and they're like, oh, we're going to go build this white community here and everything. How about you shut the fuck up and keep it to yourself and just go do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't.
That's one of my main problems with Return to the Land. Like, if they would have just kept their mouths quiet, they could have built much better and not the heat that they've been getting. Not that I have, like, I'm poo-pooing them. I'm just saying I think it would have been better for them if they just sort of kept it quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I've met a couple of the guys from there, and they're good guys.
Yeah, I met a couple as well at a meetup. They seem pretty cool.
Yeah, I just kept it quiet. And this is the same thing with like building outside of institutions. If you're going to get involved in local politics, if you're going to get involved with if you're going to build a company, if you're going to start a company and only hire your own people, just shut up and just do it. And this whole idea that, if we just get enough of our guys working in Washington, D.C., everything will be, we can take it over and we can infiltrate. That's not what white people do. White people, that's what Jews do. You're not going to out-Jew a Jew. So, you're going to have to start somewhere where, and be off the radar. And I think really when it's like build our own, well, I mean, you can maybe start your own credit union or something like that. That's really not off the table for
Yeah.
people who know what they're doing.
Yep.
But when it comes down to it, you're not going to build your own internet. You're not going to, I guess you can build your own X, but I mean, people have done that. People have tried to build their own Patreon and it gets taken down. People have tried all these things and they get attacked. You just basically have to.
Yeah, look at
You
all
have
the
to be
shit Andrew
smart
Torba
about
had to
what
go
you
through
do.
just to make social media.
Yeah. Yeah. And and his now I think Torba's probably his future is just concentrating on the AI model he's created. And
Mhm.
yeah, I just just
I
be
don't
quiet
use
and
AI,
just go
but from
do
what
it.
I hear, it's pretty. The Gab AI is pretty good.
Yeah, the Gab AI is pretty good. But yeah, I mean that's it. You can build your own stuff. I mean, you're going to be limited. You're not going to be building, large industry or anything like that. But I mean, until this either all falls apart or something, something happens, and I don't know what that is. It's up to you, and you're going to have to do it at the smallest level possible, and branch out, and then confederate. Basically, you're going to have to find
Yeah.
people in other areas and confederate.
Yeah, like I say a lot of times, the only future that you're going to have is what you build with other people of like mind, because the society that people our age were born into was already dead. And going forward, that corpse is going to fall apart. So the only thing that we will have that will live is what we start building with each other now.
I mostly agree, although I will say there's a part of me that looks at this, and I know I bang on about this every time I'm on, is looking at kind of a long term. We need to start local. We need to start small, but we do need to have an eye for our children or our grandchildren to start retaking these institutions. I think just looking at it as a single in my lifetime achievement is completely impractical. That's not to say don't build your thing. I absolutely go build everything you can locally. Keep it contained. Keep it with people you can trust. But start chipping away at the institutional structures. And you have to be smart. You can't just run in and Jaceberg over the Federal Reserve. You have to go in and say, okay, I can get my foot in the door and I can start implementing these policies or approving these things. If I were that employee, and just do it on the down low and do it until you get either pushed out or caught, and then hey, suddenly you can become a martyr for the cause. Not that that's an ideal position, but that's a position that people should consider. Instead of just isolating yourself, set your goal into basically being the subversive. I mean, yes, that may not be the natural inclination of the white man, but we need to adopt it in order to defeat everybody else that is coming after us. Because if you don't learn from your enemy, then you've already accepted defeat. And I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, I do think that there is merit to working within the system to try to fix it and keep awful things from happening. Like I know a guy who obviously I won't name. He's I think 38 or 39 now, and in his 20s he became very red-pilled on the whole rape gang shit, all the anti-white terrorism in the UK, and he decided to go into local politics, and he actually has risen through the ranks quite a bit in the last 10 years. And he pretends to be a regular, like, towing the line, shit-lib Tory type, but he's ultra super based like us privately. And he's trying to get as many young guys who think like us in to his position as much as he can. He doesn't like the Nigel Farage types and stuff. He just wants to have a hand in his local politics and represent the people around him. And so he's been doing that for like 10 years. very on the down low based, but has to toe the line because of how cursed everything is in the UK. So I think that might be the future for a lot of us who want to actually work in universities or banking or TV media, other kinds of media, politics. We might have to have a surface character that we play just to get along. All the while, we are secretly networking and politicking with people who want to have actual power when the time comes. I think that's a good plan.
I think it would be tremendous if we had allies in the movement who infiltrated journalism, and just a simple, every time they talk about a white man, capitalize the W. That's a small chip, and that's something that opens the door. And I think too many people, and I know this from some board of directors shit that I've had to deal with here lately. So many of the low key, low level people have great ideas, but they're so spat upon that they're not willing to be that nail that stands up. But if they can do it subtly, if they can get that out there, then suddenly the whole dynamic changes and people start acting in a, oh shit, there's something going on here, and not a, we have to quash it, because it confuses the people that are in power because they don't understand that subtlety is being used against them.
Dave, Carnal, let's hear from you on this.
So I think at some point we're gonna have to retake a lot of the institutions, because I mean, build your own for sure, but the building your own can only necessarily be a means to taking over the established institutions as they are.
Yeah, because
right, like
you have to have a country, and a country has to have things like
Right.
So,
well, I mean, you can't just build your own Xbox from the ground up, or your own Google and shit like that. And a lot of it is because those companies get so much money from the government, but they're not going to fail. Like they're effectively tax supported institutions at this point, and hoping to build a parallel to your parallel Google, whatnot like that. It's a good shot. Like Rumble's good for what it is, but it's not near as good as YouTube. And like the only way to really the only way to really fix things is to kind of retake the institutions at some point. And I mean, definitely, build your own, and you have to start small. Like Pete said, you have to start local, you have to build local. But those movements have to move towards a retaking of some of these institutions, unless we're going to, radically Fed post the whole government, which is incredibly unlikely.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. And honestly, like if that happens, things would be so far gone, then nothing else really matters, because everything would have fallen apart to the point where you have to rebuild everything anyway. So,
right. Well, and I mean, I guess if we just leave it in the hand of the Jeets for long enough, then those companies will just eventually fail and die on their own.
I don't know, man. Companies have been failing long before we had the Jeet wave, and the government keeps stealing from us to buy them out. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah, that's
or to bail
fair.
them out, not buy them out. I misspoke. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I mean, short of that, like so many people have been inured in that fucking post World War II consensus and that blank slateism bullshit. So many white people have that, where they just believe, and that's only something that white people have been taught.
Yep.
It's not we've all explicitly been taught that tribalism is a bad thing when we do it. Beat over the head constantly about how bad tribalism is, while we don't get to say shit when everybody else does it. So people need to shake that. They really need to shake that shit out of their head. And eventually it's just becoming, I mean, it's already happening. It's becoming unavoidable. Like you can't not see it happening everywhere. This is a supreme example of that, where they're just getting rid of Americans. And most of those Americans they were getting rid of are white. They're not getting rid of I doubt they're getting rid of all the blacks. You know, I doubt they're getting rid of all their Asian coders. It's like
Yep.
they're mostly primarily just laying off white people, and then they're going to backfill it with a bunch of street shitters.
I always laugh
and the
when I hear
quality-
them called that. It's so funny.
And the quality of the product is just going to suffer immeasurably, but you have no alternatives. So yeah, Big O's is right. Post World War II whites are the most propagandized people in history. It's 100% true.
Indeed.
Yeah, 100% true. Yeah.
So
Well, I think
I'll
we've
hand it
talked
off
enough
to
about this one. Carnal, do you have anything to wrap up with before we move on?
I do actually, and I'm just going to remind everyone that the Federal Reserve is not a government entity. This is not something that, any reasonable person. You didn't vote for this shit. As much of a joke as democracy can be, no one voted for this. The Federal Reserve is not a government position. This is just it may as well be the SPLC under a different name. Also, with regard to building your own, I just need to remind everybody that we're never going to actually get ahead in the system until we're the ones dealing the cards.
Yeah.
We're not going to win the game until until you become the house. You don't win until you become the house. That's all that there is.
Yeah.
You can't build something else. You need to hostily take over the house. That's how you win in the long. And as long as you're sitting in the chair being dealt the cards, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, definitely. And just like Earl said here, one of the most pro-white things you can do is to make a successful business and employ other whites and support white families with your money and your business.
And
That's
to
fantastic.
reiterate what Pete said, have whatever internal HR policies you want. Just shut the fuck up about it.
Mhm.
yeah,
No one needs to know that you only want to hire white people. That's none of
Yeah.
their fucking business, to be honest. And if you
And
just
don't
so
advertise
choose-
that. Don't say it. Like, yeah, don't. Just
exactly.
Yeah.
But if you just ever so choose to not hire someone, no one needs to fucking know. Just like they don't need to tell you that they didn't hire you because you were white. We all know that's what they're doing. They're not going to tell us. So fuck them. If we build our own thing, keep to our own. We don't need to offer any other explanation. We don't need to advertise. Unless it's like, a friendly stream like this, like, hey, you need a job? I know someone who's hiring. Like,
Yeah.
that networking is cool.
hmm
But other than that, no, keep it to yourselves.
hmm
Keep it in the family.
Yeah. Big O says just bin Star Wars name applications. All right. So just to remind you guys, I am not monetized on YouTube. I don't work for free. I would love for you to share your hard-earned dollars with me. You can do so over on Buy Me a Coffee. That's what I prefer now that Entropy's gone. You can find the pinned comment wherever you are. It is also the top option if you are listening to this on repeat in the description. The top financial option, rather. Also, you can use PayPal, Cash App, Rants on Rumble, or Hyperchats on Odyssey. And if you really like the work I do and you want your name included in the awesome intro graphic by Lomax Designs, go over to Subscribestar and become a monthly supporter of mine over there. I have many tiers to pick from, even $1 a month, just to get your name in the credits. So with that being said, we'll start with Dawn Browning. First in tonight over on PayPal for $10 US. She says, just for you, and sends me 2 little white hearts. Well, thank you so much, Dawn. You're one of the most supportive women that financially I've seen in this sphere. And thank you for supporting me and the OGC and all the white well-being people that you do. Thank you very much. Let's
And
see.
she can I say real quick to Dawn that 'cause
Please.
she sent me via PayPal today, and some for me and some for Dr. Johnson, which I passed along to him. So thank you, Dawn. As always, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we all appreciate you, Dawn. You're a good lady. You support us with your dollars, and that means a lot. All right, and that's the only paid chat in right now, unless there was a latecomer over on Cash App. No, there wasn't. Okay, we are good, so we'll go ahead and drop that banner and get back to the dragons. That was the White Dragon with Jeet Takeover, which leaves Blackwashing Washington. Oh no, how sad. Cold as Ice and War Never Ending. Bleach Demon, you are the party leader. What is next, sir?
Well, I think I'm going to select Blackwashing Washington myself.
All righty. One moment, please. Let me get this up.
Bleach wants the black dragon.
I've got to wrestle my enemies, you know.
Yeah. All right. Let me shrink this a bit so it'll all appear in the box. There we go. Smithsonian's National Museum of American History promotes extreme political activism, White House report alleges. A sweeping new White House report concluded that the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of American History has become a taxpayer-backed institution of ideological capture and extreme political activism. The report concluded that the Smithsonian and the Museum of American History in particular, under its current leadership and current interpretive ideology, cannot be trusted to tell America's story honestly, nor in a way that is inspiring, unifying, or worthy of our great republic. The White House Domestic Policy Council wrote in its July 4th report, following up on President Trump's March 27 executive order. By the intention and at the direction of the current museum and Smithsonian leadership, the American History, the National Museum of American History has become subject to institutional capture by radical activist ideology that is fundamentally opposed to telling the noble, honest story of the great country that we know and love. According to the 162-page Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History report, delivered on America's 250th birthday, NMAH treats the American story as a political tool rather than a shared national inheritance. At the Smithsonian's NMAH, visitors young and old should encounter the story of the United States with honesty, seriousness, and pride, the report's executive summary began. In particular, it should help the American people understand where we came from, what makes it distinct, and why it's worth preserving. Instead, the museum has moved away from straightforward historical education and scholarship towards activism, a report found. Anthony Hartig, NMAH's director since 2019, has explicitly stated she sees history as a prime tool of social justice, and one of her roles as connecting research and scholarship to activism and advocacy. Hartig also has stated that we work to reframe the traditional celebratory narrative of U.S. history for visitors. She claims to have had a personal head start propped up as I was and am by the cushions of whiteness and the pillows of the bourgeoisie. That's a quote directly from her. Why on earth was she appointed to lead the historical institution of the Smithsonian? That sounds to me like she was probably put in there during the Obama years. To me, that's what it sounds like. Anyway, these are not the words of an objective historian, but rather those of an activist advancing an ideological agenda contradictory to the museum's founding purpose of fostering patriotism. The report made 5 key conclusions about the museum. It attempted to subvert America's founding and cancel America's founders, only mentioning them in context tied to slavery and oppression. It, quote unquote, problematized the 250th anniversary of the founding. Because, of course, they say that, you know, the whole 1618 or whatever the fuck it is, Juneteenth crap. It changed the words to loaded modern political activist terms and not terms of history. It abandoned historical scholarship for political activism, and it failed obligations to the American people. One of the most significant findings in the report is what's missing, the report stated. A visitor to the museum today will find no exhibit at all dedicated to America's founding era. No George Washington, no Thomas Jefferson, no founding fathers, the Continental Congress, the Pilgrims, the Puritans, or other major moments of American Revolution. Those are all now absent from the historical division of the Smithsonian. Instead, visitors will find founders such as Benjamin Franklin introduced chiefly through their connection to slavery, while their decisive roles in building the Republic and their anti-slavery efforts are minimized or not mentioned at all. The NMAH presented revisionist history using terms that exist now, but not then, including a popular term of art, critical social justice. The museum is not merely neglecting America's central story, it's intentionally withholding and subverting it. So we will leave it off there. There's a lot more to this, but that's enough to get us started in the conversation tonight. So let's go ahead and move to the Black Dragon, which is this beautiful lady here. The Black with us tonight is the same regal queen who visited us earlier this year, and she's glad to be among such interesting and intelligent humans as us. A rarity for our planet, she has found. She chose this story tonight to ask about the anti-whites who took over the Smithsonian. Bleach Demon, this comes to you first. If you were the ruler of the USA, would you have museums and other cultural institutions portray history as accurately as possible or shape history to suit your goals?
Oh, I am so
I
glad
misspelled suit on the card. That's supposed to be suit, not sweet. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad I picked this one. So known to some, if you listen to Sultans of Chatelet, I have worked in the history field off and on since I was 18 years old. So I am very, very familiar with the cultural and institutional rot that museums have embraced, especially in the last 15 years. So would I, yeah, me personally, I would absolutely lay bare the truths of history. Unfortunately, when you get people who want to talk about slavery, they very, very conveniently forget about the man who institutionalized racial chattel slavery, a black man named Anthony Johnson in Virginia. So, yeah, I see that. And it's like, these people have no clue, because the people who are masquerading as historians, because I've gone through as pet projects of mine a lot of their credentials and their papers, they know jack shit about history. This
they don't care about it. They don't care about what's true. They only care about what they can do to take power.
Exactly. And I looked at this Hartig bitch's credentials real quick, and she should be very good with history. And went to William and Mary, which is in Williamsburg, the oldest university in North America. And what did she do? She went off and became a city planner in California, like Riverside, I think. So history to them is nothing more than a tool. And history has long been a tool of the Marxist socialists to manipulate how we view history. They try to make it either very boring or they make it very racialized. They don't go through and tell the story about Ben Franklin founding the first abolition society.
Mm-hmm.
They do not go through where Thomas Jefferson was he was wrestling with the issue of slavery in the Declaration.
Yep.
Because it's inconvenient. And they also want to focus on Sally Hemings, who was a half-sister of his dead wife when he started having his fling. So all of these little truths they want to bury because they have a narrative. And if they lose the narrative to actual historical fact, they lose their shit. I have been confronted physically in one case by a museum director, and she did not like the fact that I was pointing out, this case. I was doing a presentation for this museum. Just because I was invited in by one of the lower level staff members. She lost her shit. Black lady. Because she was running I'm trying to be very vague here, unfortunately. But it just didn't suit that what I was talking about really went against the narrative of what they were trying to fundraise for, to put up new ads and banners saying, oh, the black man is always oppressed and that's all. And I've got evidence of, well, here's a first-person account. Here's another first-person account. And this goes against your narrative. So, yeah, would I like to propagandize history for my own personal view of nationalism? Absolutely. But that's not what a honest historian does. An honest historian, and these people are not historians. These people have their degrees in whatever they pulled out of their ass that has history because they couldn't figure out how to do mathematics. They just want to destroy the core of this nation, because having gone through a lot of this World Cup coverage and the little clips, America's the last nationalist Western country on the face of this earth. And if they're not going to be able to destroy us with our history, they're going to have to destroy us externally. And that's ultimately, to me, where it comes down to is if you destroy our history and you destroy people's love of history, and that's what our education system focuses on doing. How many people here, in chat or here on the panel have actually learned history on their own, discovered the stories, discovered the struggles, the glories, all of these things that have made this country what it is outside of a classroom? I would guess 99%. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if I were going to answer this question, I would say that you portray history accurately and you celebrate everything that was done, even the kind of shit that shitlibs complain about. You celebrate it if it was done and it made the lives of Heritage America better, and you decry it if it made the life of Heritage Americans worse, and say you're going to work on not doing that in the future. You be as honest as possible, but the way you shape history to suit your goals is by saying, did it benefit America no matter how fucked up it was? Did it benefit Americans? Yeah.
Mhm.
And if it didn't, well, sorry, we'll do better next time.
Yeah.
Also, a quick aside, as another reason to celebrate November 11th, the Armistice Day. It was also the
You mean
day
besides it being my birthday?
well, that too.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, I mean, happy Nat Turner Hanging Day.
Oh,
Nice. Beautiful.
here's a good one from Big O's. But Pete, I saw a big pile of shoes at the Holocaust Museum.
Gotta have shoes, baby. Where's your pile of shoes, Pol Pot?
My mom was a shoe. Anyway,
So I'm going to jump in if that's okay.
yeah, please.
So, yeah, I 100% believe portray it as accurately as possible. There's no need to whitewash history or make it prettier, just to deploy or portray history exactly as it happened and let the fucking results speak for themselves. Right. And like Pete said, talk about the stuff the shitty things that happened so that we don't do them again.
Yeah.
But then make sure that we've removed the scales from everyone's eyes. Because like Bleach said, I'm going to keep going back and forth, but like Bleach said, most people don't learn that shit in school now. Most of the people here didn't learn, like I was never taught anything about the fucking Holodomor in school. In fact, I was barely taught anything about World War II in school. They just are shitty at teaching that stuff. And most kids don't give enough of a fuck about it anyways. It's just not, it's not impressed upon them how important that history is for your heritage. And for your legacy, like this country is our legacy. And it's a legacy of people that came before us, and to decry them as somehow lesser because they don't fit into this modern bullshit ideology, this subverted communist ideology. When someone says bourgeoisie, it's like, oh, okay, well, you're captured. You're a Marxist. Like if someone starts labeling things in communist terms, then they're communist and really don't have any place at the head of any of our institutions. That's just straight up. Don't let the don't let the Marxists take away our heritage like they have been.
I don't call them Marxists, man. That's an old hat. Call them anti-whites.
Yeah, well, that too. But don't let them take that away from us. Take away your heritage and your history, like they've been doing, like they're doing with shit like the Odyssey now, stuff like that, where they're just totally retconning our history.
Because I think just like bringing up the guy who the black guy in Virginia who officialized chattel slavery, we need to teach our history warts and all. Because if you
Yeah.
don't know about bad things and why they were bad and who made blunders, but we still came out okay, then you have a very unhealthy view of what works and doesn't work. What things that we say we are ashamed of now, that's a constructive learning experience. But if you blackwash history and be like, hey, all these people are good and all these people are bad, and you erase all the nuance, you're just creating stupid people. It doesn't actually help. There's no identity there. It's all just brainwashing.
It makes it a lot easier for you to be lied to. If you don't understand the nuance, you don't understand the details, it makes it a lot easier for you to be lied to. And particularly in terms of the revolution, because in the research that Bleach and I have done for our stream, like it's amazing to see how inspirational the American Revolution was to the world. And to Europeans, because the American Revolution inspired a lot of revolutions overseas. It inspired the overthrowing of monarchies. It inspired the throwing off of serfdom and moving into a more modern society. And while those revolutions,
like I
weren't
said,
always
warts and all.
Yeah. But like our history is inspiring.
It is. It is.
It is.
For good and ill.
It is.
Yeah.
First off, to go back to the article, no more fucking blackpilling on this stuff. We are actually moving into the casino arena with this. God help us, we actually take over the fucking Smithsonian and reverse this nonsense. So that woman should not be in that job. She should be replaced. She should be expedited immediately, just thrown out wholesale. And that's the step in the right direction. So no more blackpilling in this regard. Trump is doing exactly what needs to be done in this regard. I wish he'd move faster, but we're going in the right direction. And the great thing about this question is being as accurate as possible does shape my goals. It does perfectly align with my agenda. Because even if you tell the entire story, I just saw something from Matt Walsh about the true story of the Native Americans and the absolute savagery of the Native tribes in early American history.
I'm a Native American.
And
They are Amerindians or Red Indians. I'm a Native American. You're a Native American. We are native to America. There was no America.
Yes.
Our ancestors built it. They didn't.
Yeah,
that is true. We did develop this country. That like they did not. They didn't really. I'm sorry. A teepee is not a house. It's not a freaking skyscraper on any metric. We did develop this nation. We did civilize it. They were simply how do you say living off the land, scavengers. Truly.
Well, I
But
mean,
no,
some of the tribes had a little more advanced civilization, but like nothing like the Europeans. Like that, not all the tribes here were the same. First of all, but some of them did have a little more advancement than the others, but not much.
Yeah, but the narrative of this story of
tribal nations is good.
Tribal nations is a good one.
Yeah.
I'll use that. I will say tribal nations. The story of the tribal nations with regard to this one woman that they wanted to demonize for scalping one of these peaceful, loving tribes. What they don't tell you as they try to villainize this woman in history is that they had murdered her infant in the most gruesome way you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, they bashed the child's head in on a rock.
They bashed the child's head on a rock. It survived. They then threw up in the air numerous times and then dragged it by a horse.
Yeah.
And they made her watch it because she had the audacity to ask her master that she was a slave to, "Am I moving too slow for you?" That was her crime. So telling the whole story does suit my goals. It does fit my agenda. Because the nobility of the white man is far greater than the savage. It always has been.
Amen, brother. Amen.
So why? So one does serve the other, and it's the same thing with another part of my life and identity. But we'll leave that for another time. I
Sure.
don't have to hide the truth. I don't have to. That's the beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have something to say? Because if not, I have some things.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. When I said that was my birthday, I was responding to the comment about November 11th being being Armistice Day. So everybody who was saying happy birthday in the context is important.
You've changed your personal history. I'm with the Smithsonian, and I'm here to help.
Today is your birthday now.
Now, the things I have to say on this are not too complex. I think that the truth is our greatest weapon, because when you look at the successes of white civilization, whether you're talking about France or Germany or Austria or the UK or whatever, the truth is white excellence. The truth is whites build and others imitate. That's the truth. And everything that we portray as honestly and truthfully as possible makes us noble. We will show you our warts, because the things that are not warts, they will shine with brilliant radiance and no one can deny them. So that's why I think that the truthful portrayal, to the best that we can tell, of sharing what was, it makes what is today shine all the brighter. We will tell you, yes, many of our leaders had problems. Some of them slept around. Some of them even miscegenated. But we still honor them and remember them because of other great things they did. Did we fail sometimes? Yeah, we did. Did we make bad decisions? Of course we did. Ellis Island. Like, we've made a lot of bad decisions. But warts and all, look at how we shine still. Even in our decrepit, watered down, weak, feminized state, look how the white man still stands head and shoulders above others. Imagine how we will look when we recapture our destiny and tell our story. It will make us look even better when told correctly. So that's why I don't think we have to lie about history. History, the truth will speak for itself. And I think that's the story we should tell. And I'll leave it there.
Just as a very, very quick aside, I finally got my fiance to watch 1776. Musical, very hacky.
Yeah.
And she went out and
Right.
bought a biography on Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson immediately after that. So it's like sometimes it's those little wedges that you get planted, and that inspires people to do their actual research.
Good job.
Thank you, Big O's. Thank you. All right. Let's see if we have any paid chats that came in. I would love some dollary dues. You hear that, fellas? Send me the monies. Money me good, money me now. I love Always Sunny. That show's ridiculous. All right. Let's check Buy Me a Coffee. Oh, we have some things, I think. Oh, no, just one thing on Buy Me a Coffee. We have, it's Dead M. Good to see you, Dead M. Dead M sends in $10 over on Buy Me a Coffee. He says, good to see you live. Keep up the good work. Well, I appreciate that, Dead M. I hope to see you around here more often. I usually just see you over on Discord, in the Discord groups. Hope you're doing good. All right, that is the only paid chat that came in. So let's go ahead and drop the banner and move back to the dragons. I love this black dragon art. She's one of my favorites. I love how interesting and cool this picture is. I love using this.
She is pretty.
That's a nice dargan. I like it. All right. So we've done the white and the black. We got the white blacks out of the way. So that's the three top ones now. We have War Never Ending, Cold as Ice, and Oh No, How Sad. Mr. Bleach Demon, you're the party leader. What shall be next, sir?
Oh, I think I'm going to throw Carnal into the deep end now.
Carnal, what'll it be, buddy?
Oh no, how sad. How sad.
Okay. We'll have
How
fun
sad.
with this one. We'll have fun with this one.
No, it's sad.
Lindsey Graham, from Trump to critic to ally, dies at 71. Republican Lindsey Graham, South Carolina lawmaker, whose 3-decade career in Congress took him from Donald Trump's fierce Republican critics to one of the president's closest allies, died Saturday after what his office described as a brief and sudden illness. Oh, another died suddenly, is it? Hadn't heard one of those in a while. Graham's office announced his death in a statement early Sunday, saying he died Saturday evening. No cause of death was immediately released beyond describing it as a brief and sudden illness. His family asked for privacy and thanked the public for its prayers. And let's not talk about the 50 FBI agents crawling all over his house. Let's just not talk about that right now. The longtime senator had celebrated his 71st birthday 2 days earlier, making his death especially unexpected at a time when many of his Senate colleagues are well into their 70s or even 80s. Now we're going to skip some of the article just to read about what they have to say and how they remember Mr. Graham. Retired Air Force colonel, military lawyer. Advocating aggressive U.S. posture abroad. And we all know that how he felt about Russia and Iran. Let's see. He chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee for Trump's first term, overseeing judicial confirmation battles. Let's see. What about his legacy? During his 2016 Republican presidential primary, Graham was a sharp critic of Trump. Oh, no, I don't want to read more Trump crap. Let's see. All right. Okay, here we go. Throughout his career, Graham cultivated a reputation for his focus on issues like immigration reform, national security, and criminal justice, including reaching across the aisle for bipartisanship. In later years, he became one of Trump. God, they can't stop talking about Trump. Shut up. I don't want to hear about Trump. Let's see. And all right, that's it. So I looked at about 10 articles today in mainstream media. 10 articles. I read long articles talking about Graham, what he will be remembered for, what he cared the most about. And there was one glaring thing that I didn't see anything about in any of these articles. Let's move to the green dragon, which is this interesting looking crystal dragon here.
Oh,
thank you,
dope.
Arden. The green with us tonight is a psionicist, a mind magician, in other words. He uses his powerful gifts to explore other worlds and civilizations. He enjoys Earth. It's perhaps his favorite advanced world outside the Great Dragon Empire. He chose this story to ask us this, and it comes to you first, Carnal. Why do none of the accolades of Graham mention his Zionism nor his devotion to Israel? Why was this major element of his life's work erased from his accomplishments upon death?
Well, you see, Great Green Dragon, the reason why it was never mentioned, because it's just implied. He was living, therefore he drew breath, therefore he absorbed oxygen. Being a great American legislator meant that you were Israel's greatest ally, right? It's just assumed. Of course, you would be a great advocate for Israel working in the United States legislature. Why wouldn't you be? It is one of those things that does just get kind of lumped in after the fact. You're supposed to forget every single traitorous notion that they ever did. Like with earlier the JEET in charge of manufacturing or recommending workforce solutions in the Federal Reserve, as if we don't need any more excuses for white replacement. You're just supposed. It's just something that's par for the course. It really is something that they are trying to, as I say before, they're just trying to meld it all together. Of course, the Holocaust Museum is free. It's real history. What don't you know?
Hey, if something's free, you're the product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that for me is why this instant revisionism and memory hole is what happens, and it might have something to do with all those federal agents at his house trying to scrub whatever Epstein nonsense he was into. The reason why we're not allowed to see the Epstein
or
files.
just clean up all the cheese pizza. We don't know.
Yeah.
All the friends that Trump was worried about from the false Obama generated report, which I can't say is fact or fiction. I don't really care if it was fact or fiction. You fumbled that shit so hard it demoralized your entire base. Like you should have just released that shit. But that's why all of that's being downplayed because Lindsey Graham and Newt Gingrich were birds of a feather, and I've heard more than enough disparaging stories of Newt Gingrich with an intern in the back with his trousers down, and the driver being like, "Where to, sir?" Lindsey Graham was the same kind of piece of shit. Like let's not have any misconceptions about these people. They are disgusting. They are vile. And the reason that you're not going to hear about his great advocacy and true statesmanship on behalf of Israel is because there are some skeletons in that closet that he'd been stuffing himself in for far too long. And Israel knows it. That's why he was owned by them. And that's why it no longer happened.
All right. All right. That's definitely a take. Thank you. Who wants to take this one next?
Jews own the media.
Okay, well, that's certainly a statement.
I mean,
but if they own the media, would they want to celebrate one of their greatest warriors?
No,
right.
not at this moment. They're playing, they're at that point right now where they're trying to destroy the GOP because they believe that the GOP would be the only thing that like dissident right wingers could actually use to fight back. And they're willing to rule from the left. So, and people will say, well, the DSA, they're taking over and they're not anti-Semitic. As a matter of fact, they're anti-Semitic and they're anti-Zionist. It's like, yeah, they'll just infiltrate. They're just waiting, biding their time so they can infiltrate that. Jews don't care if they rule from the right or left. They just need to rule. So
hang on.
Unfortunate because they're like the worst rulers.
Hold on. Are you telling me that the Jews are aware that promoting someone's advocacy of them is a bad look? What happened? We lost somebody.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just Bleach. He'll be back.
Oh. Okay, all right. But no, that's a legit question. Are you suggesting that they know advocating for them at this time is a really bad look? Like
Well, I mean, they're not a monolith. There are different factions. There are different factions within the group. But it seems to me that the most powerful ones, they don't. That's why I tell people all the time: Jews aren't Democrats or libertarians or Republicans. They're Jews. It doesn't matter where they rule from. But there are enough that are keenly aware enough to be like to not celebrate out loud. I mean, it only just seems like since October 7th they're completely out of control because they're just saying stuff out loud and in public and on video where you're just like, oh, why would you even say that? Are you guys retarded? No, this just happens every 80 years. They get confident and they decide, well, we've got a lot of power now, so we're going to take over. And so we can
it never
brag.
goes well.
Yeah, we can brag about everything. Yeah, and then Khmelnytsky comes along, or failed painters come along, and yeah, I mean that's just what we're seeing now. But there are some who are like, yeah, we need to dial this back and everything. So yeah. I've been studying these people. I know these people's history better than they know their own history. I see exactly how what history doesn't repeat itself, but they certainly do repeat themselves, and they repeat the same things, the same tactics over and over and over again.
That's almost like they got one playbook. They go by.
Yeah.
It's not that they just have one. I think that one of the reasons that the international Jewry or Zionism or whatever you want to call it, I think one of the reasons that they're always like this is they don't know any other way to survive or to have power other than just constantly lying and manipulating and trying to play everybody around them against each other because they are so loyal to their own well-being at the abject detriment and usury of everyone who isn't them, that's the only way that they know to be. And so whenever they get the loudspeaker and they get angry about stuff, that bile is what comes out of them. That's it. It's that simple, I think. But anyway, somebody else take this question and talk about it. I'd love to hear what others have to say.
Yeah, I think they're just not going to bother because it's assumed, right? Like it's like Carnal said, like Pete said, it's just assumed that he was pro-Israel. They don't need to say now if he was anti-Israel, they definitely would have said something about it. You know, kind of like crimes in the UK. You know, if it was a teen, if it was just a teen that did it, then you know it's not. Then it wasn't a white kid. But if it's a white kid, it's automatically they name a white kid.
Yep.
So they're not going to bother naming a pro-Jew. They're going to name an anti-Jew. They're going to call out an anti-Jew.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the big difference.
So after my
right now, what is that? Who is
that's the kittens have reset my audio connection as well.
Ah, I see. I see. Yeah, for those of you listening, you can't see the private chat. The reason why Bleach dropped out is one of his little kittens knocked over his router.
Not only that, but he figured out how to pull the plug out of it too.
Oh no!
Yeah. I was just to add. I think the reason why it won't be mentioned for Graham is they want to make supporting Shootyism, just because I made that up from chat, as something that will give you eternal life, that will make you immortal. So when someone just drops dead from either Slavic interference or other sources, they're not going to advertise that because then you're not going to seem like you get immortality for supporting their cause.
Well, I think let me put up the banner real quick and we'll talk about this. My take on this is along the lines of what you guys said. I think that media, being obviously what it is, with a very let's just say has a Zionist oversight. Let's say that the American media and American politicians, despite being Israel first, I think that they understand how detrimental to what fragile image and respect that this government has left. I think that they know just how bad it would be to celebrate Zionism because of how deeply unpopular and rejected it is by most people. Like even here, even with the Schofield Bible raised idiot Baptists in this area, most of them don't like Israel. Most of them think that they are the real Jews, that they are the Israelites, not the satanic wackadoos in charge of Israel. And they don't want to send their sons to go off and die for Israel. Like, that's how people around here think and talk. So it's like, I think that it literally is because the people who run the media are aware enough to know that that's just a dangerous thing. It would only further damage what loose hold they have on the narrative. So they don't do it. I think it's simple. That's my take. So in that way, I largely agree with what Cardinal said at the beginning. Anything else on this one? I know it was a pretty simple topic. Anything else to say? All right, let's move on then. We have over on Buy Me a Coffee, we have another one for $10 US. Thank you, Stumbling, my good man. Stumbling with us in chat right now says, who else other than whites gives a crap about history? Anyone's history. Remember, he says, I mean beyond storytelling myths, actual history. Remember, the pyramids were abandoned before the French and the British took an interest in them. Yeah, exactly. Like, we care about history, and I think that we care about truth more than any other group. And we care about what was. I think that we see meaning in that where others can't.
You know what? It's because we're the only ones with a noble story to tell.
Maybe that's it too.
Well, I would also point out that what other culture and civilization has gone out of its way to preserve and study a hostile culture. The fact that the Egyptians and the French and the Germans had gone out of their way with all these archaeological digs in Egypt and Turkey and the Sudan, because they wanted to understand more than just their own perspective. The rest of these cultures are just barbarians that will go out and just, as we've already seen, take artillery and blast the shit out of some history because they don't care. Because that Africa time concept, which has been introduced to me in the last year or so, nothing exists outside of their own lived experience in the here and now. There's no tomorrow. There's no yesterday. There's only what is right in front of you, because you're kind of dumb if you can't see beyond yourself.
It really is interesting. I think that for centuries, white men have been so ignorant of the fact of how noble their story was, they assumed such goodness in others. That's why we wanted to learn about them.
I think that's a fair assessment. I really do.
I think we thought there was something worthy behind the scenes. Whether there was or not is, something is still yet to be seen. I think we found something, in the Asian side of the world potentially, but most of what we found trying to discover other histories, while obviously promoting and sharing our own, has not been up to our own standard.
Anything else?
All right. It wasn't that profound, guys. We can jump in.
Yeah, I agree, Arden. I think one of the greatest failings of white people, just in general, British, French, German, all of us, is assuming that the other racial groups of man were like us and they just needed help in time. That was our failing, and we are learning our lessons civilizationally now.
I did say earlier, I forget which chat I said this in, but I said that Italians were a necessary buffer race between white men and the Negroid. I affirmed that position. We are the perfect buffer race. Goodness gracious.
Oh, so that's why you talk with your hands. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, mamma mia.
Hey, we have to talk with our hands lest they start catching them, all right?
All right. Hey, forget about it. Hey. No, Italians are great. I like Italians. All right. Let's see. Okay, we don't have any paid chats besides that one from Stumbling. So let's go ahead and get on out of here. Or get on to the next one, I mean. Let's go ahead and drop that banner. Bring back up the dragons. There we go. That was the green dragon, so that means we have a war never ending and cold as ice. What is next, Mr. Bleach Demon?
Oh, I'm going to give this to my co-host, Fat Dave, on the Ausis Circle every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Very good. Fat Dave, what's next?
I want to see cold as ice.
Oh, boy. Okay. I've been waiting to get to this
baby.
All right. Over on Newsmax here. I've paused this like 10 times and it keeps replaying. Stop it. Oh my God. All right. Every time I mouse over this, it starts playing again. Fuck your website. New ICE facility could speed up deportations for families and children. See what I mean? Just autoplays, no matter what I do. The Trump administration plans to... Oh my God. Stop it. Oh my God, stop it. The Trump administration plans to open a 528 bed holding facility for migrant families and unaccompanied children next to an airport hub, positioning itself to speed up deportation. See, the moment I move the page, it starts playing again. My God. Awful website. The location in Alexandria, Louisiana would remove logistical headaches. You know what? I have an idea. I normally archive my links. I'm not giving Newsmax benefit of the doubt anymore after this bullshit. Let's just archive this. Boom.
I always no script it. There you go.
Somebody's probably already backed it up anyway. Oh, no, they haven't. Oh, well. That's fine. That's fine. We won't do it live on air. We'll go back. That's fine. We'll just scroll down so we don't have to look at this non anymore. All right. Anyway, the new ICE facility will be in Louisiana, Alexandria. It would remove logistical headaches caused by wrangling children from foster homes and shelters across the country, not having anywhere to go. A federal judge prevented deportation, but the chaotic episode illustrated the challenges authorities faced because they don't have anywhere to put these families and children near the airport. ICE is calling the Alexandria facility a staging area, not a detention center, and says people would only be there a few days at most. That's good. That's what you want. You want a place to keep them temporarily for a short period of time and then get them out. You could even call it the trebuchet waiting grounds. However, several immigration advocates expressed concern that children could be held at the new facility for weeks or months. Well, I don't care. Do you care? Nope, nobody here does. We just want them gone. It's an expansion of the deportation system in ways we haven't seen before, said Alicia Welch, chief legal counsel at the nonprofit of Children's Rights. I don't know about her, but I bet she is. There's just so much that could go wrong with this facility. Yeah, right. Unaccompanied children in the U.S. I mean, if they're already children who aren't supposed to be here, things have already gone really wrong for them. We're just trying to get them out. Just get them out. Anyway.
Oh, no. They'll have to drink box juices and play Xbox.
Oh, no. I'm sure that.
How terrible.
The horror. ICE officials signed a contract late last month to build the facility at a former military base near the airport, about 175 miles northwest of New Orleans. It would operate as a 72-hour holding center for migrants awaiting deportation. Sounds good to me. Make it happen. Compass Connections, a Texas-based nonprofit that runs shelters for unaccompanied children, had originally been tapped to help operate the facility and laid out plans during a public presentation in February. But the company's president, Sonia Thompson, told the AP last week that it was no longer involved. She did not elaborate. In public board meetings, Airpark officials said it is a humanitarian effort for families that are self-deporting. Bleach says Leach Welch, yes. Immigration advocates say families and unaccompanied children sometimes make that decision under pressure because they don't understand their options. Boo-hoo, get them out, don't care. These are people volunteering to go back home, and they're going back home as a family unit. That's good. Get them all out together. We can deport them together. Families are important, so move them all out together. All right. I'm skipping a lot because this is a long article. Let's see. I need to get to the next part. All right. Where's that? There was one thing in here I wanted to read. I wanted to get to. Here we go. The Louisiana-based LaSalle Corrections, that's who's taking over the ICE facility now, already runs a range of private prisons and federal immigration detention centers throughout the South, including the Louisiana lockup inside the state's maximum security prison. Now, I think this is the reason why a lot of people are poo-pooing this, is because, let's be fair, the prison systems and the way prisons work in the United States, it's not good. It's not moral. It's very exploitative and corporate. People on the left and right have been talking about this for decades. We all know this. This is the main thing that concerns me about this, is they're contacting a major prison corporation to run this. I would much rather, as shitty and terrible as our government and their NGOs are, it would probably be better if it was government ran or NGO ran through the government than just giving it to a massive prison corporation. This is my only complaint about what they're doing here, and it's a minor one. So anyway.
Could you scroll back up and get me the name of that Compass organization again?
Yeah, Compass Connections.
Okay,
Compass Connections.
Okay, I got that right. I'll be back very, very shortly. Just continue as you
were. All right. Well, we're about to go to the Blue Dragon anyway. All right. The Blue with us tonight is glad to be back. He always enjoys talking to us and appreciates our humor. He chose this story tonight to ask us about stopping mass migration and fixing the damages of it, which is what this article was about. Fat Dave, will any of the ICE and deportation effects last beyond the Trump admin, or can it all be undone by the next regime? What effects do you think will linger, if any?
Well, I think it really hinges on the next election and how secure we can make the next election. And that's not to say that like Vance would ramp it up in any way, shape, or form. But in reality, Trump's deportation and his strategy and all his bravado was bullshit. And his approach has
Well, but
been
you didn't
so
have to tell me. I
mild.
don't trust a man who prefers curry over casserole, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
Now, if that gets stolen, then we just got a whole bunch of new citizens, right? Like if the next election gets stolen, like in 2020, then we have amnesty for those people. Undoubtedly, they're just going to push through amnesty. The communists, the anti-white shitheads in Congress are going to push through a bill. The new anti-white fucking president will just sign it with a big old smile on his face while the Jew media sits around fucking patting him on the back. Now, I think Vance will carry on or whoever the next Republican candidate is, but I think we can all agree pretty easily that it's going to be Vance. We'll just carry on the same milquetoast, like loud, say big words but little action bullshit that we're having now. So it could very easily be rolled back. I mean, if you look at how much damage was done by Biden just during his 4 years in there, we got an extra like 20 million people at least when Biden came in, right? We had elections stolen across the country when that shit happened. And now we have non-citizens voting in California and like 20 other blue states. We have we have a lot to lose by not getting the right people into office. And as much as it feels like they're not doing anything, which they are hardly doing anything, at least there is something. And at least they want to keep up the appearances of doing something, even if it's just the guise for not really doing much at all, which is totally contrary to what will happen if it goes the other way, where they're just full mask off. Everyone in Mexico is now an American, whether or not they're here or not, kind of shit.
If that's the case, let's just annex it and go to war with the cartels.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
that's been Dave. How long have I been saying Mexico?
Yeah.
I mean, the three of us have talked about it on this channel for at least 2 years. Like, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on that one too, just by the way.
So I think that it can easily be undone without, with the cheers and the applause of the Jewish media. Like it will be done with accolades to further get rid of all the white people in our country. That's what the end goal of it is anyways.
Yep. It's the biological white erasure of our people. That's what they're after.
Yeah. That's entirely it. And so, and it will be nothing but praise and applause when it does happen. So it's important that we maintain a vanguard and stop that from happening.
Indeed.
So
the problem is the system. If you're going to have elections, you're going to have new people put in. If you're not going to, pass the SAVE Act, even if that would do anything to fix elections, you're not going. The people can steal the elections. Basically, what's happening now is that it's ruled by pen. And it's ruled by executive order, and any executive order can be overturned by the next administration. The southern border is essentially closed. It's amazing to me no one's worried about the northern border, where it's all Chinese and Indians, sitting up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what the system is, and even if you were to say, okay, well, you have if you have both houses of Congress, you can legislate, you can pass some laws. Well, those laws have to be enforced.
Yeah.
We've reached the point with the system where the purpose
we don't need
of the
new
system,
laws. We just need the ones we have being enforced by our people.
Well, that is the purpose of the system, is what it does. In 1933, the U.S. government was overhauled so that it made it much easier for a small, well-organized group to take it over and push it in whatever way they want. And that group has basically taken over and done whatever they wanted. How do you get rid of that group? Well, that's the question. You're not going to do it through elections. I mean, if they're willing to spend $35 million to unseat a congressman from Kentucky who basically like has never had any legislation passed except to get the Epstein files, and not even all of them released, then the system is broken. And that's the point I've been trying to make to people over and over again. This system was created to fight the Cold War. The Cold War has been over for 40 years, or 45 years, for 35 years, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the military. It's why the military it can't do anything. It's still fighting. It's still designed to fight the Cold War. When we're in 4th generation warfare.
Yep.
So the system is the problem. The system
Agreed.
as it was built is the problem. We do not have the system that the founders created.
No, but
Not
we haven't
close.
had that for over 100 years now.
Right. So thinking that all we need to do is we just need to get our people elected, or our people put into certain key positions, and we'll be able to push the system in our way. Well, every time, look, we've had even people who anyone who goes in there. Joe Kent can't do anything. Tulsi Gabbard can't do anything. These are people who are part of like the daily intelligence briefing. The system is fucking broken. And anyone, like, I honestly am at this point where anybody who's advocating to save this system, I consider them to be either completely delusional, which I can forgive, or they're the enemy.
Yeah,
because this system cannot be used to fight. You want power. Get your friend elected governor of your state.
Yep.
Now you have control of a National Guard. Now you can protect yourself from this regime that wants to kill, that wants to destroy you. And that's where you have to start.
I think it all went wrong when we
in the
became
state
the
level.
United States instead of these United States about 150 years ago.
Well,
I think that's where
yeah.
I think that's
true.
what.
The 14th Amendment fucked everything up.
Yep.
The United States, sure, the states were supposed to, we're supposed to be independent, but you can go all the way back to getting rid of the Articles of Confederation and basically what was a constitutional coup. And people can argue, well, that would just keep the country weak, and Russia could walk in, and China could walk in.
Bullshit.
Like, okay, so Jews walked in. All right, good. There you go.
Right.
I'll say this. Initially, I was thinking I was going to disagree with Pete, and then he made the excellent point of, we have to do it ourselves. There's, if the system's broken, and the only way we can start wedging this thing anywhere close to being reasonable is when we, pick up the mantle and do it ourselves. There's just no way around it. It's just, I wish more people didn't have this attitude of, well, it's already broken, we can't do anything about it. It's like, no, you go in and you unfuck it. You revert it. You go and do things where you get rid of universal suffrage. People talk about that, specifically about women. That's not
going to happen.
Let me finish, please.
Good. I'm sorry.
The point I'm saying is you get the normies motivated thinking it can happen. Because
the normies have never. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with 200 million normies? You can't do anything with 200. Stop concentrating on normies. Fuck normies. It's a small group of people. It's a fucking vanguard that goes in and takes over. Elites control.
Shit.
Elites have always been in control. Fuck the normies.
You have to get people to buy in. When you start,
people are waiting to be told what to believe and what to do.
And you taking this and shitting all over instead of
one at a time, gentlemen. It's okay to be heated, but one at a time. Go ahead, Bleach.
Don't give them a vision. You don't give them a way out that makes them feel comfortable. Then they're not going to follow you. They're going to resist you every step of the way. What do you think when the Galleanists were bombing shit? They were like, oh, we're going to change the system. because they didn't give a vision that made the normies comfortable. That's who you see. This is where I always get lost when people are talking about fuck the normies. It's like, how do you think you're going to rule these people when they want to revert back to the old system? You can't do that. You can't, you can't get people to buy in. And that's the thing I just always emphasize. Give them that shred. Propagandize the fuck out of them. Because that's what they're used to. That's what they need. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, you both agree that they are being waited to be told what to do and how to think.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I want to give them something to buy into, and I'm not hearing that from Pete. Maybe I'm wrong. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
They're not. I mean, put it this way: you want to know who's like, if everything was to fall apart tomorrow, you know who's taking over? Somebody who can actually feed the normies.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point. And I think Bleach is trying to say that in a very nice tone. But the fact is, if you approach the normies with nothing but the stick, they will run to the man with the carrot. That's just what they're going to do. So we're going to have to give the normies a little ideological carrot, are we not?
Yeah, like this is the whole point of the Go Free method and the positive white identity that people like the OGC are building it with the American ethnicity.
But
like
they reject whiteness.
It doesn't. No, you don't.
The
have
normies
to give
reject white.
No,
You talk about white identity. They immediately go. Yeah, I mean, here's the question. Okay, so to bring this back, how do you unbrainwash them?
You don't. You create a positive narrative for the young ones that grow up in it. The ones that,
you look
like
at the
Yuri
children.
Bezmenov said, the ones that have already been poisoned or are lost cause, give up on them. That's why I agree with Pete about the idiot masses. They're lost cause, give up on them, move on.
But until the boomers die off,
which is any day now, man. Let's get the building.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. But I'm not willing to just torch everything just yet, because when you can manipulate these people as they've been manipulated all of their lives, then you start driving the wedge, and then you get their kids and their grandkids and the next generation, and then you crush this shit. And that, I don't look at a solution for my lifetime. I'm looking for my great grandkids to be able to be like, yeah, fuck this. We don't have to deal with this anti-white bullshit.
Yeah, and like that, we will get there. But I think you both are making valid points and are close to being similar here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but you're saying that we need to focus on taking power and building whatever comes next, and then everybody who's normal will just follow suit, right? That's
as long as if you create a vanguard and you take over and you push forward with a positive vision. The only thing, this is what elites understand. This is Elite Theory 101. You just don't want to do anything that they revolt against. If you have a revolt, if you have people who are willing to rise up and revolt against you, then you're not going to be able to accomplish your goals. And that's when you have to buy bunkers and and buy your own island. But the thing is that you have to go and do it, and you have to just basically, you can't really think. You're going to have a certain percentage of the population that is going to fight against you. And you have to take that into consideration, and you basically have to be willing to tell those people, no, fuck you. This is the way we're going to do it. These people over there are on our side and they want to do it. You don't necessarily have to just absolutely, give them, beg them or tell, or, be overwhelmingly like, I'm searching for a word that I can't find. But what it comes down to is that these people are like, I mean, talking to a boomer is like, it's like Corey Mahler said, talking to a boomer is like talking to the TV.
Yeah.
The TV can't hear you, and it doesn't speak back, and anything that it says is going to be propaganda. So you have to forget about them, and you have to concentrate with people who already agree with you. And that's how you build your vanguard. And that's how you That's how you organize. And you just have to do things. You just have to operate in a way that people are not going to revolt against you. It's not like you have to totally capitulate. That's the word I was looking for.
There you go.
Capitulate to these people. You just have to lead them. People look, 2020 taught me that I was a libertarian until 2020. I thought, everybody just wants to be, everybody just wants to be free. Everybody just, everybody just wants to be free. 2020 rolls around and it's like, no, everybody wants to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to be willing to tell people. And you have to understand that 30 to 40% of them are going to revolt against you. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Well, I'm okay with that, but I'm just going to go back to the Dragons question and basically say we have to own the casino. Yeah, it's always going to go back to whatever the agenda was previously, because we're not running the casino yet.
Yeah.
So, and that means, unfortunately, you got to be pro-Vance. I hate that shit comes out of my mouth, but we have to take the best option.
I fell for that. I fell for that in 2024. I'm not going to fall for it in 2028.
Fall for what? I mean, look. Who else is there?
What
else is there?
The only reason you would even consider voting for Vance is because it kicks the can down the road. Nothing else.
No, I'm voting for Vance precisely because I want the deportations to continue.
Well,
that's why I want that.
I don't know if his wife. I don't know if his wife's going to want him to do that.
Well,
that's a risk that unfortunately is going to have to be taken.
Yeah, because the other guys are going to be the exact opposite anyway. So whether his wife condones it or not, hopefully, I'm not even going to say hopefully, there's nothing else on the slot. There's nothing else in the casino, unless you're going to advocate the whole, build your own bullshit, which I know we've already discussed before. It's not an option. It's not. There's nothing there. But in any case, besides that, I did a little digging into this Compass Connection. You know what else they're doing? This Compass Connection thing that turned down manning this facility. So, just to recap, they are not running the holding facility for the deportations, but what they have been done, and they were tapped to do this in 2025, is take over the human trafficking hotline to protect survivors. They took over that job from Polaris. So it was run by Polaris, and now this company that was supposed to, based in San Antonio, Texas. Now my ears perked up when I saw that, because I'm like, wait a minute, are we just putting the fox in the hen house? Is that something that we're risking, and that's why they're no longer doing it? Maybe it could be a work overload. They don't have the staff to accommodate both working that facility and run the trafficking hotline. That's another possibility. We have so that was something that I was interested in. Is why is this so? My question for you is yes, we do have this awful thing going on with the prisons for profit running this facility. However, do we want the prisons running it, or do we want the possible, because I don't know if I'm pointing this out well or not. These agencies that say that they're anti-human trafficking can intend to be human traffickers at the end of the day, or at least facilitate in that culture for obvious reasons.
Yeah, true. Okay, here's the thing. A large prison corporation already has lots of government contracts. It has state contracts. It is embedded. Mm-hmm. It is harder to influence. If it's an NGO that the government can just threaten by cutting off funding, that's easier to control with financial force and punishments if something starts to get out of line. That's the reason I say that, is I want deportations to function as smoothly as possible. Now, again, you can say, well, it's a corporation, you can just throw money at it. But as we have learned in the last decade, I think corporations have goals in mind that they put above money, that they put above profit.
Oh,
But
yeah.
an NGO can't function if it's, if you just gut its funding and be like, no, you didn't do what we want. We'll just create another NGO to do it for us. Like, it's just a matter of control. That's it. It's not that I think one is inherently more moral or better than the other. That's it.
No, I just wanted to go into this Compass Connections because that raised my hackles a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm learning maybe not. I have this website up called Swap Behind Bars, and this is a website that's pretty left leaning, and they hate that Compass Connections has taken over, which means if my enemies are cheering, we might be on the right track. So, possible white pill there. In any case, again, the problem here is, of course, if the Trump and Vance dynasty dies out, we're going to slide right back to what they're going to try and bring back Fresh Prince, and we all know that Fresh Prince is fake and gay.
Yep.
It's not real. It's just
I call
white
it
erasure at a
the
slower
anti-white
pace.
delusion of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Correct. And so we need to push this harder. We need to try and build our own harder. We need to, at least if they try to bring in immigrants, to make them as uncomfortable and as unwelcome as humanly possible. If big government fails, mafia tactics must prevail. That's what it is. So I don't know what could be possibly controversial about those facts.
Okay. That's cool. Thank you for sharing and doing the homework on it. But we do need to move to the last dragon if your guys are cool with that, because we have more paid chats to get to as well.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get to those then. I'm refreshing the other sites now. Nothing new on Cash App, nothing new on PayPal, but we do have some things over on Buy Me a Coffee. And thank you guys for swapping over to Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate that. I know it was rough there for a while with entropy going up and down. We have, let's see, I did the one from Stumbling. Yes, I did the one from Stumbling. Okay. Which means it is time for Dissident Knight, longtime friend and financial supporter of the channel. Dissident Knight says, careful, Yiz, the monitor is reflective. If you say miscegenate another 2 times, the miscegenator will appear.
Oh no.
I wish Rhetorically Defective would appear on my channel more, but he's busy. That crazy man makes like 20 streams a week. I don't know how he does it. Anyway, thank you, Dissident Knight. I deeply appreciate it, friend. I asked in the chat who this next guy is, because the name just shows up as the letter M, a capital M. So M on Buy Me a Coffee. If you are hearing my voice, let me know who you are in chat, and I'll thank you later. M says for $25. Well, that's the biggest one yet tonight, so you get something special. Mystery M gets a new little video that I added.
I just had a flashback to the Snorks cartoon from my childhood.
Oh yeah, I remember the Snorks. Yeah, that was funny. All right, so anyway, M for 25 big ones, $25. He says, "I wish you all the best." That's all M says. So it could be a she, I guess, but it's probably a guy. Most people listening are guys. So whoever M is, thank you very much for the $25. And if you tell me who you are in the chat, I will thank you appropriately by name. Christos, look at Christos here. All right. We have one dragon left, and that dragon is the red dragon with war never ending. So, as the party leader, Bleach, who do you want to take this one? Do you want it to be?
I'll tackle this myself.
All right. Then we'll just go directly to the article. Then this is Zero Hedge. Why is it? All right, it just took OBS a second there. U.S. unleashes more attack waves on Iran as Trump boasts we bombed the hell out of them. Ugh, God, again. Oh boy. The Pentagon confirmed that late in the day Sunday, which is just yesterday, the U.S. forces have continued launching more strikes on Iran throughout the day. describing that the latest wave of strikes are aimed to degrade Iran's ability to attack civilian mariners. U.S. command has been providing more frequent updates through the day as the conflict intensifies, blah, 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 blah. It claims that there's direct hits reported on the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain, explosion reported at U.S. bases in Kuwait. Explosions have been heard in Iran's, I can't say that word, island, as well as state TV is reporting. Iran state TV reports explosions near Sirik in west of Bandar Abbas. CNN says that within the hour, IRGC fired at commercial shipping, X the doubt. Trump was on the NBC's Meet the Press a few hours ago and described Saturday's U.S. strikes on the Iranian military by saying, "We bombed the hell out of them." And more of the latest from Trump. He on Meet the Press, he said that the strait was open to commercial traffic. It's open. We bombed the hell out of them last night. That's very, very evil, and they are very, very evil, sick people, Trump said. He said that the Iranians agreed to a perfect deal for us the day prior. No nuclear, no this, no that, no nothing. They gave up everything, and then the next day we're back to bombing them again. Okay, Trump, sure, that's great. That's great. Sounds great. So anyway, it goes on and on. They talked about 6 Americans being killed in a drone strike. Talks about places burning, infrastructure being hit. Just more of the same shit, man. Just on and on and on. Drone strikes, bombs, fires. Like, look how long this is. All of this just from the shit that happened yesterday. Look at all this. We're not going through all this, of course, because we don't have the time and I don't want to look at it anyway. But we are going to talk to this wonderfully regal red dragon here. That's who we're going to talk to. The red dragon with us tonight is a high-ranked senator of the Great Dragon Council, and she keeps a close eye on our world. She is of the opinion that Trump is merely a merchant who believes he is a great man of history, which is why his actions often bear poison fruit. She chose this story tonight to ask us this, and it comes to Bleach first. Do you think Trump's faction is using this war to somehow turn America against Israel and Zionist lobby? If not, why do you think his faction is acting this way?
You know, that is a interesting theory, and I understand where it comes from. Though I genuinely don't think that's the case. I think it's more a matter of we've had conflict in the Middle East since the fall of the Ottoman Empire, and this is just him trying to put his stamp on history and saying, "Look, I'm the great peacemaker. I'm the great man who came in and ended all of these wars," while falling into the trap that empires have fallen into for centuries and thinking that you can do anything with the sand people other than fight them. So, the Israel Zionist lobby, they're just as honestly thinly thinking of this as the Trump regime. They think they can end this. They're going against human nature. So, they both factions think they can end this by defeating Iran because they're 12 or Shia, and they're 12 or Shia are wildly radical pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to change anything, because what's going to happen? The next great power in the Middle East is going to rise, whether it's the Greater Israel Project or Saudi Arabia or some, and they're going to try to become a regional hegemon, which means they have to put themselves for the benefit of Islam against the West, or the benefit of Israel and Judaism against the West. Because to them, if you've delved into any of the older, like 1970s pre-Intifada writings of strategic analysts before they were completely co-opted, they were like 80% co-opted, but before they were completely publicly co-opted by the Israel lobby, you realize that they just want to fight. That's the thing that nobody seems to really want to address. These people live on conflict.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
So will this change anything? Absolutely not. Yeah. Will Trump's delusional idea that he can be a peacemaker for these people happen? Yeah, maybe for like 6 days. That's about it. So I think nothing's going to change. Nothing is really going to change his faction, because the problem comes down to they're trying to apply a American mentality, a Western mentality, a Christian mentality on barbarians, and you just can't do that. That's all I got for you.
Okay, I'd love to hear what somebody else has to say on this.
I agree. The Jews are barbarians.
Good heavens.
I mean, I think that.
far more
I think the Jews are way more dangerous to us than Islam has ever been. The Jews use Islam as their broom. Look what they've done to Europe, causing wars, and then having their NGOs import them into Europe. Do I think Trump? I don't think so. I mean, Trump's mentor was Roy Cohn. His daughter is married to a Jew. Donald Trump Jr. just said that he's half Jewish the other day. I don't know what half. Look, Islam may kill your body, but if the last 100 years have taught us anything, they're intent on destroying your soul.
Yeah,
they're intent on making you turning you into. When the caliphate was happening in Spain, they never told them they couldn't be Catholics. They never told them they couldn't be Spanish. But the Jews, wherever they go, they say you can't be Christian anymore. You can't have an identity anymore. Muslims have never done that historically. I'm not making excuses.
And also,
for the most radical, those radical Sunni sons of bitches.
Right.
But I know my fucking history.
Yeah.
And the Middle East was doing pretty fucking okay until Jews started emigrating there about, 125, 130 years ago.
Yeah.
Christians lived next to Christians. I read a rabbi's diary from like 1780, said he went to Palestine, and they would, when they had temple on Saturdays, they kept the front door open. There was no attacks, anything like that. No, it was when these radical fucking insane Zionist Jews started going to Israel and just decided that they were going to have to kill everybody so that they could have this land. And historically, perfectly fine with that. It's what we did here. But the problem is they wanted the land, but the Jews didn't go there. They can't. Israel is not a state. Israel is a base of operations for the diaspora.
Yeah.
It's not a place where Jews even want to go.
Yeah.
Without the
exactly.
diaspora, they do not exist. It's a place where they can commit crimes in any country they want, and they have a place to escape to where they're not going to be, where they're not going. I mean, a friggin' radical Zionist 30 years ago went into a mosque while everybody was praying and killed like 30 people. And the current, what was it, Ben Gavir? What the hell is his position? He had a picture of him up on it. He had a picture of that Jew up on his wall until he was like called out recently. I'm sure probably in his home.
It was like the Secretary of Defense or something like that. He wasn't the president, but he was somebody like that in Israel. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
These are not good people.
They glorify terrorism, murder, and enslavement in the name of Israel.
Menachem Begin in an interview in I think it was 1973. It was in the 70s. The interviewer said, "So how do you celebrate the fact that you brought terrorism to the Middle East?" And Begin looked at him and said, "To the Middle East, we brought it to the world."
Yeah. Like so. Yeah, I think I'll save what I think till the end. Who else wants to take this question?
I think I'll jump in. I don't. Goodness gracious, I don't think Trump. Eek. The strategies that are going into this effort don't make me hate Israel. I hate that Israel did what Israel would normally do, but of course they're not going to send troops. Why the fuck would they? They're Israel. They're not going to come to our aid. That's not how that relationship works. God damn. I despise Trump for this.
Yeah.
I despise that he would, if he was going to do the thing on Iran, to not have the fucking balls to do the thing that would help him win, to go back and forth and to actually um win the fight rather than this bullshit back and forth. We know how to deal with people who want to um throw rockets down at people not paying going through the strait. We know how to deal with a cave system. It's called a siege. It's a brutal thing to do, but that's how you handle that nonsense. We know how to handle a population that's being majority oppressed by a regime and being able to send forces to basically colonize, conquer, and claim the state for their own. We know how to isolate and
Why are we
win this
still talking
war
about
if we
Jews?
wanted to.
Why are we still talking about Jews in Israel? Everything you just
Exactly.
said describes Jews in Israel.
I'm sorry, that was just such a non sequitur for me. I'm gonna 404 for a minute.
Okay.
But my point is, I just
Uh-oh.
we know
Carnal.exe had to shut down. It'll restart here in a second.
it did restart momentarily, but I don't hate Israel for being Israel. I hate Trump for not being a decent enough American president to win a fucking war. This is exactly
Well,
what I voted against.
but there's no war to win with Iran. Like, unless he's going to nuke it to glass, which he shouldn't do. There's no winning this war. Like, it's a
You would need a
stupid,
draft to win this war.
and
Good
you would
luck
have to,
with that.
and hundreds
Good
of
luck
thousands
with
of men
that.
would die. Like, this is not a
Yeah.
war that we're going to win. It's not a war we should fight. It's not anything we should
It would
be
take
involved
3
in.
years of staging. It took 2 years of staging to invade Iraq. And where would they stage from? Turkey? Are they going to re-invade Iraq? They're going to is Armenia going to allow them to stage from there? Is one of the stands going to allow them to stage? The fuck are you talking about winning a war against Iran? I have a buddy who he fucking was studied this in the Army War College. He was part of a fucking plan to invade Iran in 2006. The Army War College was like, yeah, we can't do it. The fuck are you talking about? Have you ever studied a topographical map of Iran?
Well, here's the fundamental problem that everybody keeps swirling around. We're not talking about total war because nobody has a stomach for total war anymore. Because we're not willing to go in and eliminate civilian populations in places that are causing resistance. People just don't have a stomach for that. In general, myself, I don't give a shit.
I'm with Bleach on this one. I forget what Bleach said when calculating when I speak sometimes. So yeah.
All right. So let's see. I have some things to say about this one. Largely, I want to say this. I think that everybody who acts like there is some kind of ulterior motive with the Trump regime to try to make Israel look bad or Zionists look bad or whatever, I think they're all wrong. I think that it is very clear that the administration is in line with what the machine wants and what it does. It is a Zionist war machine. And like I've said before on many streams, the seat of the President of the United States comes with baggage. It doesn't matter what party you represent or what your name is or even what race you are. When you take the seat of the President of the United States, you have obligations to that machine you have to fulfill or else. And the or else part is very nasty. And so you have to play ball when you're in that chair. I think it's that simple. I think what's happening now is because of how rotten and corrupt and genuinely stupid many of the people who operate this machine are now. They're old. They're blind. They think in Cold War or related out-of-date ways. And most importantly, the international Jew, so to speak, all of these Mossad people and these blackmail ops and the Epsteins and all this, this is a nebula of manipulation, fraud, blackmail, extortion that has been going on since before any of us present here were born. This is the web that controls all of this military shit. And of course, who's at the head of that? It's obvious. Who can't you slander? Who can't you talk about? Who can't you point the finger at? This is not Trump doing some 4D chess. This is Trump just doing what the machine does. It is what you see. It is as obvious, and that's just a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. Because, like Pete said, many of us supported Trump and hoped for the best. We were proven wrong. So now we have to call a spade, or in this case, a Zionist. So I think that it's very obvious that all of this shit is at Israel's behest. They're the one leading the dance. Trump is just participating. That's what I think. Any pushback, any other takes that you'd like to say in response to my claims and ideas on this from anyone?
Well, I think I'd also
I agree.
point out that there's also a very heavy conspiracy of like minds where they don't necessarily have to be directly influenced, but because they've bought into this Cold War boomer mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so on the surface, from our perspective, it looks like they're all conspiring where no, they just all believe the same thing because they're that dumb.
Yeah, and also it's not just being dumb. Like I've said a million times about Trump supporting Zionism. I don't think it's because they have Epstein pedo dirt on him. He was raised and groomed by rich New York Jews. He has loyally been friends with rich, powerful Jews his whole life. Trump has a natural reason to be on board with the Zionists and love Jews. He's rich. He rubs shoulders with them. He was groomed by them. His family intermarries with them. They don't need dirt on him. He naturally supports them and wants Jews to love him. It's natural for him. They don't have to blackmail him to do it.
Exactly. And well, I mean, hell, if you want a microcosm of that, you've got how Trump thought he would win over the black vote in the U.S. because he spent years trying to be down with the bros. Hell, there were like rap songs of him back in the early 2000s. So, yeah, he just wants to be loved, and that's his greatest flaw.
I don't know if it's his greatest flaw, but it's definitely one of them.
Well, it's the easiest one to point to in this conversation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's look at some memes and get out of here. That was fun. Let's go ahead and drop the banner. No, we'll leave the banner up. I need money. All right, let's drop that. We will bid adieu to the beautiful dragon, which means it's treasure time. Let me get the memes ready. We'll move to the memes. I think this is funny. We'll start with this. It's not a meme, but it's a Twitter post. I thought this was pretty good. According to Iranian state TV, the anti-Iranian U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham died after seeing he could not overthrow the Iranian nation. He was gay and unmarried, leaving behind no offspring to pollute the world. I got a big kick out of that. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't confirm it because I didn't care. But the sentiment is hilarious.
Persians are amazing and hilarious. It might just be true.
It might be, yeah. I love the ridiculous memory TV. I've been hooting and hollering over that for years. Let's see. We also had 4th of July, and I did not get to share this last week. This was the one I accidentally dropped last week. When someone asked me how much I love America, I'm this. But when they ask me how much I love my government, I'm this.
I too want to institute a Catholic monarchy.
All right. Also, we have some sad news. Sam Neill passed away. Many of us here really like him. Salute to Sam Neill.
I found out today his given name was Nigel.
Oh, he was a Nigel. Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah,
no, I've loved him in movies and BBC TV like for years. He's been in a bunch of stuff I've watched since I was a kid. I always thought he brought his A game to the screen no matter what he was on. He's just he will be missed and cherished by me and many others. So salute to Sam Neill.
I'm surprised that Aiden Paladin won't be having some sort of like Merlin marathon for the weekend.
Well, she made a big post about
No
that on X
temptation.
today. Yeah.
Oh, I've been banned because I pissed off too many Jeets.
It's fine. Twitter's an ass anyway. I just use it for work and to talk to friends. I don't like to scroll. But I did see her post that today. All right, let's move on and let's laugh at some stuff and get out of here. First up, I don't know if you heard about this or not, but hilariously in the last week, checkerboards, chessboards, and spreadsheets started getting people auto banned for child porn or any kind of porn on Discord because the algorithm started realizing that things in these patterns were no images, because people would often share really large pornographic images, especially child porn, with bunches of little images all compressed into a giant image. And so the algorithm was trained to view grids and spreadsheets as child porn. and I just thought that was just kind of funny.
It's not the first time this has happened with Discord either. Because there's that image of the guy eating, I think he's eating chips or something. That big.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that one used to get you auto banned too if you posted that, because it's so commonly used to mask on, the cheese pizza. They're awful shit. So,
all right, next up, let's look at this. We have
the rigor tortoise. No, you're not getting chosen this time.
Why not? Why not both?
Yeah,
right?
for real.
For one.
I like this. When I see dangerous extremist in real life, friend, Christ is Lord, brother. Come on, Mitch. Lindsay? All right, well, Lindsay it is. I like this. This is for you, Carnal. I put this in here for you tonight. Release the files. If you would have to reveal your hand, you only have to reveal a single card.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Nice.
I like this one. It's very funny that if you use the interspecies naming convention for black-white crosses, you would end up with whacks for white father mulattoes and blights for black father mulattoes. and then my buddy Mass Creation Broadcast, new racial slur acquired. Consent condom requires 4 hands to open, making powerful statement about consent. Great. Now I can get raped by General Grievous and nobody will believe me. I like this one. A white nationalist took MDMA for a drug study and renounced his racist views. No drugs, or do drugs, fry brain cells, begin thinking you're equal to blacks. I think this study says something that you're not ready to hear. The Rothschilds poisoning Lindsey Graham's anal beads because he wasn't cucking hard enough for Israel.
Oh, that explains the pop, pop, pop sound.
Oh, last but not least tonight, he finally got the heaven he deserved.
Oh, come on.
So true.
Ooh.
Right.
All right. That's it. I know everybody has places to be. Pete's got to head out for dinner shortly. Pete, before you head out, is there anything you want to promote or anything you want to talk about or invite my listeners to before you head out?
Pete Quinones Show, PeteSubstack.com. That's it.
You can find the link to that in the description. You can find his wonderful streams and all the stuff he does on that link. Thank you for being here tonight, Pete. Give your lovely wife a big hug for me, and I look forward to seeing you next time, friend. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye.
All right, now is the time where we shill for everyone else, and then I check and see if we had any paid chats during the memes. We'll start with Bleach Demon. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, well, as always, we've got Autist Circle with Fat Dave and myself this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, and Sultans of Chatelet at 9 Eastern on Saturdays.
Very good. Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, just that Autist Circle on Thursday. We're going to be talking about Robert Venosa this week as we're closing in on the end of the century or the current time. So we're talking about a more modern artist. Next week, we're going to be talking about Jean Blanche, though, the Warhammer artist, the recently passed Warhammer artist. So that will be our episode after this one. So stay tuned for that.
All righty. Carnal, anything you want to talk about or promote or invite people to while you're here, sir?
Just join the channel, say hello, and I am starting, as always, I'm looking for players to play Shades of Dominion, introduce people to the game, and shield the new company.
Roger Dodger sounds good. And I just refreshed. We don't have any paid chats on Buy Me a Coffee. Nothing new over on Subscribestar. Come on, PayPal. You're slow as Christmas. Oh, my God. It's so slow. It's a miracle I'm still allowed on PayPal. I can't believe it. But I've been using it for like 20 years. And it still works for me. And I haven't been banned yet. And nothing over on Cash App. So we are good to go. Thank you to all of you lovelies who financially support. It means everything to me because this is what I do for a living now. I will be back with more Discord at Dragons for you next Monday. Maybe something else during the week. I don't know yet. And remember, if you want to come to my camping trip in October, reach out and let me know. I hope you all have a great week. I have a morning walk video coming out in the morning, and I will see you next time. Love yourself, love your people, and speak the truth to all who have the ears to hear it. Good night, and God bless.
Good night,
folks.
Cheers.